For centuries, we have chased the ghost of Atlantis through the waves of the Mediterranean, searching for a lost paradise swallowed by the sea. But what if the truth isn't a myth, but a scar left on the earth by one of the most violent geological events in human history? The eruption of Thera wasn't just a local disaster. It was a cosmic hammer blow that shattered the most advanced maritime empire of the ancient world. We aren't looking for a legend today. We are looking for the evidence of a civilization's slow, agonizing death. To understand the scale of this catastrophe, we must travel back to approximately 1600 BCE. Imagine a world of vibrant frescoes, sprawling palace complexes, and a naval power that controlled the Aegean Sea. This was the Minoan civilization, a culture of unparalleled sophistication centered on the island of Crete. They were the masters of the waves, the architects of the Bronze Age, living in a golden era of trade and art. But high above them, the island of Thera was brewing a storm that would change the course of history forever. The Thera eruption was not merely a mountain exploding. It was one of the largest volcanic events in the last 10,000 years. The sheer volume of material ejected into the atmosphere was enough to alter the very chemistry of our planet. As the caldera collapsed, it created a void that nature rushed to fill with terrifying violence. This wasn't just a fire in the sky. It was a fundamental restructuring of the Aegean landscape, turning a paradise into a graveyard of ash and pumice. As the island of Thera tore itself apart, a secondary terror was unleashed upon the Minoans. Roughly 85 miles to the south, the island of Crete sat waiting. When the massive volcanic mass collapsed into the sea, it displaced an unthinkable volume of water. A colossal tsunami, born from the heart of the eruption, raced across the Mediterranean. This wall of water didn't just hit the shores of Crete, it tore through the heart of the Minoan maritime infrastructure, destroying the very ships that were the lifeblood of their empire. But the water was only the beginning of the nightmare. While the tsunamis struck the coasts, the atmosphere itself became a weapon. High-altitude wind patterns acted as a silent delivery system for the catastrophe. They carried vast clouds of volcanic ash and sulfurous aerosols across the Aegean, choking the sunlight and coating the fertile lands in a layer of gray death. This wasn't a sudden death, but a slow strangulation of the environment that sustained the Minoan people. Deep beneath the ash of Thera lies the settlement of Akrotiri. Once a thriving, sophisticated urban center, it was buried almost instantly by the volcanic fallout. Archaeologists have found a time capsule here. Buildings, multi-story houses, and even frescoes preserved by the very ash that destroyed them. Akrotiri serves as a haunting blueprint of what the Minoan world looked like just moments before the sky turned black. It is a silent witness to the suddenness of the geological fury. However, a common misconception persists, that the eruption killed the Minoans instantly. The evidence tells a more complex, more tragic story. Archaeological records, specifically the study of clay tablets and settlement patterns, suggest that the Minoan civilization did not vanish in a single day. In fact, they managed to survive for approximately 50 years after the eruption of Thera. They were a resilient people, attempting to rebuild in a world that had been fundamentally broken. So, if the volcano didn't finish them, what did? The 50 years following the eruption were likely a period of cascading failures. The ash-laden winds and fallen tephra would have decimated agriculture, leading to widespread famine. The tsunamis had crippled the navy, leaving the islands vulnerable to outsiders. We see a civilization in a state of constant recovery, fighting against a changing climate and a depleted economy. They were wounded, and in the ancient world, a wound often invites a predator. This period of vulnerability opened the door for the Mycenaeans. As the Minoan grip on the Aegean weakened, the warlike Mycenaean Greeks from the mainland began to look southward. The decline of the Minoans is now attributed to a complex cocktail of factors: the environmental devastation of the eruption, the subsequent economic collapse, and a potential Mycenaean invasion. The eruption was the catalyst, but the final blow may have been delivered by human hands. Modern science is now providing the missing pieces of this puzzle: dendrochronology, the study of tree rings, and new geological data are allowing us to pin down the timing of these events with unprecedented precision. We can see the scars in the wood and the layers in the earth. These scientific tools are stripping away the layers of myth, replacing the romanticized tales of Atlantis with a gritty, terrifying reality of climate change and geological instability. When we look at the data, we see a pattern of environmental chaos. The eruption didn't just happen. It resonated through the entire Mediterranean ecosystem. The cooling effect caused by the volcanic aerosols likely disrupted the seasonal rains that the Minoan farmers relied upon. We are seeing the first recorded instance of a major civilization being pushed to the brink by a climate-altering geological event. It is a sobering reminder of how fragile our own systems truly are. The Minoan collapse was not a singular moment of impact, but a slow descent into obsolescence. The empire's strength was its connectivity, its ships, its trade, its ability to move goods across the sea. When the Thera eruption severed those connections through tsunamis and economic ruin, the very foundation of their society crumbled. They didn't just lose their land, they lost their ability to exist as a unified maritime power. As we piece together the evidence, the myth of Atlantis fades, replaced by something far more profound. The story of the Minoans is a story of resilience, of struggle, and of the ultimate power of the earth. It teaches us that even the most advanced civilizations are subject to the whims of a planet that is constantly shifting, breathing, and erupting. The Minoans didn't vanish into a fairy tale. They were absorbed into the long, complex tapestry of human history. The Thera eruption remains a warning written in ash. It reminds us that the ground beneath our feet is never truly still, and the oceans we traverse are never truly tamed. History is not just a collection of dates, but a series of lessons written in the dust of fallen empires. If you want to uncover more of the truths hidden beneath the surface of time, subscribe to Epoch Unseen. Join us as we peel back the layers of the past, one mystery at a time.